Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We are present here today for the pre-bidding conference for civil works under invitation to bid number 2025-015. This pre-bidding conference activity is in accordance to Republic Act 12009 or the new Government Procurement Act. We are live via YouTube in compliance to Section 38 of the IRR of RA 12009. Video recording of all procurement-related conference for competitive bidding to enhance the transparency of the procurement process. And in accordance to Department Order 06 Series of 2024. This conference will discuss, clarify, and explain the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the procurement projects, including the questions and clarification raised by the prospective bidders. Before we proceed, may we request the Secretariat for a roll call and include the acknowledgements of guests present.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Our attendees for today's activity, pre-bid conference for civil works for Davao de Oro 2nd District Engineer Office. We have here the back members, starting with our Vice Chairperson, Engineer Jeffrey C. Saman.
Present.
Regular member, Engineer Leslie T. Gulito.
Present.
Provisional member, Engineer John Carlo D. Tagupa.
Present.
From the back secretariat, headed by Engineer Arthur Noel Aylor.
Present.
Back secretariat member, Ms. Girlie B. Verde.
Present.
From the back TWG, headed by Engineer Dave Herzel G. Palen.
Present.
TWG member, Sir John Carlo M. Aluna.
Present.
And we would also like to acknowledge our viewers via YouTube. Good morning and welcome. That would be all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Since the majority of the back members are present, I hereby declare a quorum and call this meeting in order. We have the present agenda of this activity. Agenda 1, brief presentation, explanation of the following. A. Basic contract data. E.1 Contract description. E.2 ABC. E.3 duration. E.4 Other project details. Letter B. Requirements of bidding documents. B.1 Instructions to bidders. B.2 General condition of contract. B.3 Special conditions of contract. B.4 Specification. B.5 Drawings. B.6 Bill of quantities. And B.7 GPPB Standard Form for RA 12009. Letter C. Documents to be submitted by the bidders. 1. Technical component of the bid. 1A. Valid and updated PhilJEP certificate of registration, platinum membership. 1B. PCAB license and registration. 1C. Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. 1D. Single largest completed contract, LSCC. 1A. Net financial contracting capacity, NFCC. Computation and statement of total asset and liabilities. 1F. Joint venture agreement, if applicable. 1G. Bid security. 1H. Minimum material testing equipment as per DEO 11 series of 2017. 1I. Project requirements. Organizational charts for the contract. List of contractors' key personnel. List of major equipment. Omnibus sworn statement. 1J. Sworn disclosure of relations and declaration of beneficial ownership. 2. Financial component of the bid. 2A. Bid form. 2B, bid prices of the built of quantities. 2C, detailed estimates including summary sheet indicating unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rental use in coming up with a bid, and 2D, cash flow by quarter. Letter D, criteria and procedure for eligibility check, primary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, standard of ongoing projects, and award. 2. Questions, comments from bidders, and replies of back and other representative of procuring entity. 3. Other matters. 3A. Section 99 of IRR of RA 12009, imposition of suspension. 3B. Section 100 of the IRR of RA 12009, imposition of blacklisting. 3C. Department Order number 227, series of 2024. 3D. Department Order number 110, series of 2024. 3E. Department Order number 241, series of 2024. 4. Summary proceedings including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued. Any motion to adopt this agenda?
I move to adopt the present agenda.
I second the motion.
It has been moved by Engineer Godito and seconded by Engineer Tagupa. With no objections, the motion to adopt this agenda is hereby approved. First in the order of the business is the explanation of basic contract data, including contract description, ABC, and duration. This will be presented to us by Engineer Tagupa from the maintenance section.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
to the viewers. Name of contract, repair, maintenance of Kalamokan River, Revetment 2, Barangay San Roque, New Bataan, Davao de Oro, Phase 1. Contract ID number 25LI0099. Location, Davao de Oro. Scope of works, repair of slope protection, reinforced concrete revetment, section 1, station 0+00 to station 0+010 equals 10 meters. Embankment, section 2, station 0+100 to station 0+180 equals 80 meters. Roadway excavation, common structure excavation, embankment from barrow, removal and repair of existing reinforced concrete revetment. Approved budget for the contract, 2 million. Source of fund, GAA FY 2025 SR 2025-03-007529. Contract duration, 90 calendar days including 15 unworkable days. Size range, small b. License category C. Cost of bid documents, 5,000. That would be all, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Engineer Tagupa, for your explanation of the projects to be procured by the interested bidders. Next in the order of business is the brief explanation of the requirements of bidding documents. This will be presented to us by Engineer Lor from PAC Secretariat.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
To participate and qualify in our procurement activity, interested bidders are encouraged to read the following documents. Instruction to bidders, bid data sheet, general conditions of the contract, special conditions of the contract, bid of quantities, drawings and specifications, securities and other forms as may be required for the contract. Bidders are strongly advised to read each provision, especially the instruction to bidders and general conditions of the contract, Full special instruction are clearly spelled out in the bid data sheet and special condition of the contract respectively. Bidders are also encouraged to check the bill of quantities so that your bid will be responsive to the requirements set forth in the bidding documents. These documents can be downloaded free of charge from PhilJEP's and DPWH website. Interested bidders shall pay the applicable amount for the bidding documents not later than the submission of your bid. That's all, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Engineer Lord. Next to be presented are the documents to be submitted by the bidders. And this will be expanded to us by Ms. Ligardi from PAC Secretariat.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The following documents should be included by the interested bidders in their bid. First, the technical component of the bid, which includes valid and updated PhilJEP certificate of registration, the Platinum membership, pickup license and registration, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, single largest completed contracts or SLCC, the net financial contracting capacity, NFCC computation, and statement of total assets and liabilities. Joint venture agreement if applicable. The eligibility documents to be updated if any, bid security, minimum material testing equipment as per DEO 11 series of 2017. Project requirements such as organizational chart for the contract, list of contractors' key personnel, list of major equipment, the omnibus sworn statement in the prescribed format in accordance to GPPB Resolution number 3-2025. The sworn disclosure of relations and declaration of beneficial ownership. Second, for the financial component of the bid, which includes bid form in the prescribed format in accordance to the GPPB Resolution number 03-2025. The bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimates including summary sheet, including the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid, and the cash flow by quarters. All of the above statements shall include all information required in the PBDs prescribed by the GPPB. Please be reminded that the following documents, the omnibus sworn statement, bid form, bid securing declaration, if you opted to use this type of security, should be in the standard format as per guidelines of the Government Procurement Policy Board in the Resolution number 03-2025. And kindly check the format of the document you are using to avoid being declared non-responsive pursuant to using of unprescribed format. Bidders should submit their documents using a two-envelope system. It is recommended to fasten the document at the topmost portion rather than soft binding or hard binding them. Each document must be clearly ear-tagged and labeled with the name of the document rather than the number or letter listed in the checklist. There should be 3 copies of this document, 2 sets of original copies and one copy 1. The first set of the original copy consists the original copy of the technical component of the bid that should be placed in one envelope, and the original copy of the financial component of the bid that should be placed in a separate envelope. These envelopes must be labeled as original copy of the technical component and original copy of the financial component respectively. Both labeled envelopes should be then sealed in one larger envelope labeled as original copy of the bid. The same be sealed in one larger envelope labeled as original copy of the bid, and the sealing applies to the remaining set of the original copy and copy 1. Finally, The two original copies and the copy 1 of the bid should be then placed in one final envelope and appropriately labeled according to the instructions in the bidding documents. Bidders are encouraged to read Section 18 of the Instruction to Bidders, page 32, to fully understand the sealing and markings of the bid. Follow the checklist of the technical and financial document required uploaded with the bidding documents for the contract to be bid out. Absence of any required document shall be considered as failure of the compliance of the required document and non-compliance of the bid. Affix initial on all pages of the document. The initial affirms that the authenticity of the pages that they are indeed part of the submitted bid documents. Submit your bids personally here in the office, or you have also the option to submit your bid electronically. The preparation of technical and financial documents of your bids are outlined in the Department Order Number 87, Series of 2020. The sealing and markings of the bid is also outlined in the said Department Order. Interested bidders are advised to read this in case your choice is electronic submission. And submit electronic bids to electronicbids_Davao de Oro 2 at dpwh.gov.ph. Please be reminded that the key personnel should occupy one position in your organizational chart. Duplication of functions of your personnel will be ground for disqualification pursuant to the principle of item number 6 under Department Order number 9, Series of 2012. Additionally, prospective bidders' key personnel shall submit copies of their valid and updated PRC licenses and or accreditation, whichever is applicable. Kindly, we also ask you to indicate your tax identification numbers since this will be used in the awarding of contracts. Further, on your bid form and bill of quantities, we request you to please write legibly. Also, if you are offering a discount on your bid form, please indicate specifically the methodology as to where or which pay item the discount will take effect. Absence of methodology as to the original amount will prevail. Discrepancies between the bid prices in words and in figure, the words will prevail. Bids not addressing or providing, filling out all the required items in the bidding documents such as in the bill of quantities, the bid is considered non-responsive and is outright disqualified. Additional instructions on the purchase of bidding documents. If submitting through authorized representatives, it must be accompanied by an authorized special power of attorney for sole proprietorship, board or partnership joint venture resolution with the Secretary's certificate for corporation, partnership, joint venture cooperative. The authorized representative shall be required to present a valid government ID and the company ID itself. All prospective bidders shall attach to the technical component of the bidding document a sworn disclosure of relations and a declaration of beneficial ownership and the general information sheet, clearly identifying the nature of natural persons who ultimately own, control, or benefit from the bidding entity, whether directly or indirectly through shareholding, voting rights, contractual arrangement, or other means of control. This requirement is in compliance to the Rule 15, the Disclosure of Relations, Section 81 and 82 of the IRR of RA 12009. prospective bidders have the option to download the sample form of the sworn disclosure of relations and declaration of beneficial ownership on the bidding documents or provide a more specific and detailed forms. The BAC Secretariat will not be responsible for the failure of the prospective bidders in paying the bidding documents on time before the bid dropping due to the late arrival and delayed processing of the order of payment. Loss of the order of payment and supporting documents already released, issued is not responsibility of the BAC Secretariat. And may request you to please always check your document before submitting to our end to avoid disqualification of your firm. That would be all, sir.
Thank you for the presentation. To add, especially in accomplishing and filing out the BOQ, if you opt to computerize the preparation of your BOQ, please use font style Tahoma and font size 11. This is to make your proposal readable and legible. Also, in your detailed estimates or detailed cost estimates, kindly explicitly outline and or indicate the OCM, contractor's profit, as well as the VAT. Since this will be essential during contract implementation, should there be a need for a variation order. We would like also to remind the bidders to submit 3 names through email prior to the bidding date. However, only one of these 3 names will be able to enter our premises during the bidding activity. Additionally, bidders are requested to bring the hard copy of the letter intent to participate and purchase bid documents during the bidding day. However, only the signatory may cancel and or revise this duly signed letter. Next, in the order of the business, is the explanation of the criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, status of ongoing projects, and awards. This will be discussed to us by Mr. Carlo Alima.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The criteria for eligibility check are set forth in Section 52 of the Implementing Rules and Regulations of RA 12009 and the contract profile based in Department Order Number 164, Series of 2025, revised guidelines for the determination of major and similar categories of work. All prospective bidders should have a valid and updated Class A legal, technical, and financial documents and Class B documents if applicable. Preliminary examination of bids shall be conducted in compliance to Section 59 of IRR of RA 12009. The BAC shall open the first bid envelopes in public to determine each bidder's compliance with the documents required to be submitted for the eligibility and technical requirements as prescribed in this IRR. After opening the first envelope, the BAC shall simultaneously conduct the electronic eligibility processing through the Civil Works application and preliminary examination of the technical components of the bids. If a bidder submitted the required document, it shall be rated passed for that particular document, a requirement. In this regard, bids that fail to include any requirement or are incomplete or patently insufficient shall be considered as failed. Bidders who failed in the contract profile eligibility process due to their outdated eligibility documents in the Civil Works application shall undergo manual eligibility check based on the submitted eligibility documents. If found to be eligible and at the same time pass the preliminary examination of their technical proposal, Their financial proposal will also be open. However, the committee will conduct second electronic eligibility check after updating the eligibility records of the bidder through the contractor's profile application or through Procurement Service DPWH Central Office. Result of the latest electronic eligibility processing shall prevail over the manual eligibility evaluation. All open financial components of the bid shall also undergo preliminary examination. If passed, the committee will read the bid amount stated in the bid form. The BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids in accordance to Section 61 of the IRR of RA 12009 using a non-discretionary criteria in considering the first, completeness of the bid, and second, arithmetical corrections. Bids shall then be ranked in the ascending order of their total calculated bid prices as evaluated and corrected for computational errors to identify the lowest calculated bid. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification in accordance to Section 63 of the IRR of RA 12009 in order to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding. If found to be responsive, the bidder with the lowest calculated and responsive bid and will be recommended for award of the contract. If found to be non-responsive, the committee will conduct post-qualification to the next lowest calculated bid ranked during bid evaluation stage. Also, bidders with ongoing contracts should be reminded that the committee will verify if you have the existing delayed contract per Department Order Number 127, Series of 2018. If you have incurred negative slippage as defined in the said DEO, or currently being imposed with liquidated damages, you should settle these findings before the period of post-qualification ends to avoid disqualification of your firm. Also, all requirements set forth in the bidding documents and the instructions relayed during this conference should be addressed and be well taken care of to avoid disqualification or post-disqualification. The BAC, with the assistance of the equipment verification team, will be strict on the compliance of the equipment as part of the post-qualification as per DEO 127 Series of 2018. As part of the post-qualification, each equipment verification team will conduct an inspection on the verification of the equipment pledged by the bidder, including other documents to be evaluated. That's all.
Thank you. We are now through with Agenda 1 and its subsections. We will proceed to Agenda 2, the questions, comments from the bidder and replies of BAC and other representative of procuring entity. Any questions?
None so far.
Okay. If there are no further questions, we will move on the other matters. The discussion of the following. Section 99 of IRR of RA 12009, imposition of suspension. Section 100 of the IRR of RA 12009, imposition of blacklisting. This will be discussed to us by Engineer Gunito, as well as the additional reminders and guidelines for the prospective bidders. The Department Order Number 227, Series of 2024, the Department Order Number 110, Series of 2024, the Department Order Number 241, Series of 2024, which will be discussed to us by Engineer Tagupa. Let's proceed to the Section 99.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
For Section 99, imposition of suspensions. The hope shall impose the penalty of suspension for 1 year for the first offense, and suspension for 2 years for the second offense, for any of the following offenses: 99.1. During procurement. A. Causing the delay without justifiable cause of the screening for eligibility, opening of bids, evaluation and post-evaluation of bids, and awarding of contracts. B. Refusing to clarify or validate in writing its bid during post-qualification within a period of 7 calendar days from the receipt of the request for clarification. C. Withdrawing a bid or refusing to accept an award or refusing or failing to enter into contract with the procuring entity without justifiable cause after the approval of the court for having been the declared LCRB, MEARB, or HRRB as the case may be. D. Refusing or failing to post the required performance security within the prescribed time. Or E. For the renewal of contracts for regular and recurring services, refusal of the service provider to accept the notice of renewal or failure to submit its updated documentary requirements for the renewal of contract without any justifiable reason. 99.2. During contract implementation. A. Delivering goods with unsatisfactory or inferior quality as may be provided in the contract. B. Poor performance by the consultant. Poor performance shall be as follows. 1. Defective design resulting in substantial corrective works in design and or construction. 2. Failure to deliver critical output due to the fault or negligence of the consultant. 3. Specifying material which are inappropriate, substandard, or way above acceptable standards. Or 4. Allowing defective workmanship or works by the winning bidder being supervised by the consultant. Letter C. Poor performance by the winning bidder or unsatisfactory quality and or progress of work. Poor performance shall be as follows. 1. Negative slippage of 15% and above within the critical path of the project due entirely to the fault or negligence of the winning bidder. Or 2. Non-compliance of the materials and workmanship with the approved specifications arising from the fault or negligence of the winning bidder. Moreover, the bid security or the performance security posted by the entity concerned shall be also forfeited. For Section 100, imposition of blacklisting. The Hope may impose the penalty of blacklisting consisting of 1 year prohibition for the first offense or 2 years prohibition for the second offense for any of the following offenses. 100.1. During procurement or contract implementation. A. Commission of 3 or more of any of the acts imposed with suspension as provided under Section 99 of this IRR. B. The use of force, fraudulent machinations, coercion, undue influence or pressure on any member of the BAC or any officer or employee of the procuring entity to take a particular action for its own favor or gain or to the advantage of a particular bidder. Or C. In case it is determined prima facie that the winning bidder has engaged before or during the implementation of the contract in the following unlawful deeds and behaviors relative to contract acquisition and implementation. 1. Corrupt, fraudulent, collusive, and coercive practices. 2. Drawing up, using forged documents. Or 3. Using adulterated materials, means or methods, or engaging in production contrary to rules of science or trade. 100.2. During procurement. Collusion between 2 or more bidders in submitting different bids as if they were bona fide when they know that one or more of them was so much higher than the other that it could not be honestly accepted
and that the contract will surely be awarded to the prearranged lowest bid. B. Malicious submission of different bids through two or more persons, corporations, partnerships, or any other business entity in which it has interest to create the appearance of competition that does not in fact exist so as to be declared as the winning bidder. C. Entering into an agreement with other bidders which call upon one to refrain from bidding for procurement contracts or which call for withdrawal of bids already submitted or which are otherwise intended to secure an undue advantage to any of the bidders. D. Failure to faithfully disclose its relationship regardless of the time of its discovery with the hope members of the DOC, the TWG, and the DOC Secretariat, the head of the PMO, or the end user of an implementing unit, and the project consultants of the procuring entity, or the procuring agent, whichever is applicable, by consanguinity or affinity up to the third civil degree, pursuant to Section 81 of this IRR. T. Submission of beneficial ownership information containing false entries. F. Using the name of another for purposes of participating in any procurement activity. G. Submission of eligibility requirements and bids containing false information or falsified documents or the concealment of such information that will materially alter the outcome of eligibility screening or any stage of the procurement. H. Unauthorized access of the contents of any bid submitted to the procuring entity before the opening of bids. I. Engaging in any documented and solicited attempt to unduly influence the outcome of the bidding. Or G. Employing schemes or solicitor to suppress any procurement activity. 100.3. During contract implementation. A. Assigning or subcontracting the contract or any part thereof or substituting key personnel name in the proposal without prior written approval by the procuring entity. B. Willful or deliberate abandonment or non-performance of the project or contract by the winning bidder, resulting in substantial breach thereof without lawful and or just cause. Or C. Termination of the contract due to the default or unlawful acts of the supplier, contractor, or consultant. Moreover, the bid security or the performance security posted by the entity concerned shall also be forfeited.
Additional important reminders. Department Order Number 227 Series of 2024. Suspension of Department Order Number 148 Series of 2024. In order to address the foreseen delay in the implementation of new infrastructure projects due to the unavailability of DPWH accredited project engineers who are currently assigned by contractors and consultants to ongoing projects, the implementation of Department Order Number 148 Series of 2024 guidelines in the accreditation and assignment of contractors and consultants, project engineers, is hereby suspended until further notice. This directive to suspend the application of DO number 148 series of 2024 shall not apply to the implementation and construction of building and bridges. Thus, for construction of buildings and bridges, accredited project engineers shall be assigned by contractors and or consultants. Nonetheless, the accreditation examination shall be continuously administered and all other activities relative to the aforesaid accreditation shall not be affected by this suspension. This department order supersedes any previous department orders, memoranda, and or instructions inconsistent with the foregoing and shall take effect immediately. Department Order Number 110 Series of 2024 Implementation of ISO 9001:2015 Certification Requirement for Large A, Medium B, and medium C contractors in the procurement of infrastructure projects of the department. The department shall now mandate ISO 9001:2015 certification as part of the project requirements for contractors involved in the procurement of infrastructure projects. This requirement applies to bidders classified under the following: Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB, size range, and are participating in the department's procurement of infrastructure projects with approved budget for the contract or ABC range with PCAB size range large A, allowable range of contract cost more than 300 million but less than 450 million, effectivity January 1, 2025. For medium B, more than 150 million but less than 300 million, effectivity date July 1, 2025. For medium A, more than 30 million but less than 150 million, effectivity date January 1, 2026. Department Order Number 241 Series of 2024 Guidelines on the Processing, Approval, and Reporting System of Construction Safety and Health Program or CSHP for for DPWH infrastructure projects. In line with the policies established by the Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH and the Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE on the processing and approval of construction safety and health program for the DPWH infrastructure projects, wherein are the guidelines for the preparation, submission, evaluation, and approval of CSHPs, including the corresponding reporting system for all DPWH implemented infrastructure projects. This department order aims to harmonize provisions from various issuances relative to the processing of the CSHPs for DPWH, particularly the joint memorandum of agreement between the DPWH and DOLE as signed on October 7, 2024. Guidelines for the preparation, submission, evaluation, and approval of CSHP. The issuance of the notice of award, NOAC, or letter of acceptance as for the case of foreign assisted projects, the head of the DPWH implementing office shall require the winning bidder to submit the approved CSHP using the template recommended by DOLE as a guide. The submission for approval of CSHP shall include the application form for the evaluation, processing, and other supporting documents as per DOLE's latest issued format and checklist of requirements in the application of CSHP. The DPWH implementing office shall only receive CSHP applications with complete documents. Any incomplete applications shall not be received, specifying the lacking documents. The submitted CSHP and supporting documents shall be evaluated by qualified CSHP evaluators duly supervised by the implementing office CSHP focal person. It shall be evaluated based on the provisions of RA number 11058 and its IRR and other related issuances of DOLE using the evaluation form prescribed by DOLE. If found in order, the CSHP focal person shall recommend the approval of the CSHP to the head of implementing office. Else, the CSHP shall be immediately returned to the contractor citing specific deficiencies. The head of implementing office, upon the recommendation of the CSHP focal person, shall approve the CSHP not later than 7 calendar days from the issuance of the notice of award to the contractor. The contractor shall submit the CSHP not later than 3 calendar days from the issuance of notice of award to give time for its evaluation and approval. The DPWH approved CSHP is a requirement for the processing and approval of the contract agreement. Moreover, no claims by the contractor for advance payment or first progress billing shall be processed and paid without the submission of the DPWH approved CSHP. The DPWH will approve CSHPs through a form prescribed by DOLE, be found in order. The DPWH project shall not be implemented without the approved construction, safety, and health program by the head of the DPWH implementing office. Upon the approval of the CSHP during the contract setup, the implementing offices assigned monitoring engineer shall input the data necessary in the CSHP module of the project and contract management application or PCMA. That would be all.
Thank you to all prospective bidders. Please carefully read all instructions and ensure full compliance to avoid any violations that could result a penalty. And for our more detailed instructions and comprehensive guidelines on the key reminders briefly mentioned, bidders are strongly encouraged to review the relevant department order thoroughly. These documents are available for viewing and download on the DPWH website. Now, we will proceed to the last agenda, the summary proceedings, including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued, which will be presented to us by Engineer Gurito.
Again, good noon, everyone.
Good noon.
All the needed information were discussed and explained. I would like to remind the prospective bidders to visit from time to time the DPWH and Belgium's websites, especially within 7 calendar days prior to the deadline of the submission of bids for supplementar or bid bulletins to be issued thereafter. Please also be reminded that the submission of bids on or before December 16, 2025, 10 o'clock p.m. Late bids shall not be accepted. Bid opening shall be immediately right after the bid submission deadline.
Okay, thank you. All of the business in the agenda were already taken into consideration. May I know the pleasure of the body?
I move to adjourn this conference.
I second the motion.
It has been moved by Engineer Tagupa and seconded by Engineer Gurito. With no objections, the motion to adjourn this conference is hereby approved. Thank you everyone for coming.